So we're going to solve each of these with the quadratic formula. Just to practice it, remember the quadratic formula. Negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac, all divided by 2a. So the first thing you have to be able to know is you have to have your equation in this form. Ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Basically, you want to get it into the form that if it could be factored, you could factor it. Okay? Now, so with all these questions, I would look at it and say to myself first, can I factor this? Because if I can factor this quickly and easily, it's going to be the easiest to solve. But if I look at it for a little bit and it's not working, then going to the formula is nice because you will be able to get an answer. So for part A, can you see that in A, that our A value is 1, our B value is 2, and our C value is 7? Because those are the numbers in front of x squared, in front of x, and the constant by itself. So when we go to write our answer, we go negative, our B value is 2, plus or minus B squared minus 4, our A value is 1, our C value is 7, over 2 times A, and our A value was 1. Now, as we start to solve it here, 2 squared is 4 minus 28 over 2. What's going to happen inside that square root? We're going to get a negative inside of our square root. That doesn't work. So this question has no solution. It's not possible to solve. Anytime that you end up getting a square root of a negative, that's not possible. So you're going to like questions like this one on a quiz or a test, because as soon as you get to this point, you don't have to do any more math, because there's going to be no solution, because you can't take the square root of a negative. You would have seen the same thing had you decided, I didn't want to use the quadratic formula, I want to solve by completing the square. Solving by completing the square means you would have moved the 7 over to the other side and done your spaces, right? In that space, you would add 1, and then you would have x plus 1 squared equals negative 6. What do I have to do as my next step? Square root both sides. But as soon as I square root both sides, I'm going to get no solution at this point. So you would have gotten no solution whether you were completing the square or whether you used the formula. Yes?
If you do it one way and get no solution, you have to try it the other way?
No, you don't have to try it the other way. I was just showing you that had you chosen the other way, you would have found the same results. For part B, so for the second one, for our formula, negative b, b is negative 2. Anytime you have negative numbers, when you put them into a formula, put them in with brackets. Okay? Negative b plus or minus b squared, again, put that number in brackets so that when you square it, you'll get positive 4 minus 4, a is 1, c is negative 7, all over 2 times a. Negative 2 is positive 2. So it'll be 4 plus 28 all over 2. And this time, we don't get a negative square root. So there's our answer. Now we just have to see if we can simplify this. Can we simplify a square to 32? Is there a perfect square that divides 32? Which one? It'll be 4 root 2, yes, because 16 times 2 is 32. And then finally, if there's something in common with the numbers on top, between the 2 and the 4, you can factor out a 2. leaving you with 1 plus or minus 2 root 2, all divided by 2, and then this fraction simplifies to 1 plus or minus 2 root 2. Yes? Is that far enough? So questions you can do for this one are 4, 5, and 6.